All right, guys, welcome to the Alligator Lighthouse 2023 Zoom call. We're just going to go over not the rules because you already listened to the rules. I hope we'll hit some rules as well, but all the big rules are: number one, you have to make sure you attend one of the clinics on Friday. So I'm hoping each one of you is going to arrive on time for the different clinics they have. It's worth your while. You will be able to sleep much better on Friday night the more logistics you have planned out in your head. Now, I'm super excited. This is, as you know, how much I love this event, but it's not to be taken lightly. It is a big deal to swim and kayak 8 miles, 4 miles out, 4 miles back. There will be waves. There will be current. There will be chop. It's a fact. We're in the ocean. But if we look at the forecast, it says 7 to 9 miles an hour. And the 9 doesn't happen until hopefully we have rounded the lighthouse and it actually pushes us home. So I'm going to be going through some of the biggest tips to make sure you're out there as little as possible. We've seen every single situation where the buoys blew away, logistics that happened that were out of the swimmer and the kayaker's control. But the more focused you are on the job at hand and don't lose focus, oh, it's so pretty out here, I love being in the ocean. And then 8 hours later, you're getting picked up by the boat. You laugh, it happened, okay? Okay, we're like, where were you guys? I don't know what happened. We just kind of didn't pay attention to going in a straight line to the lighthouse and going in a straight line back to the hotel. Now, I will tell you, it's way easier to spot the lighthouse, right? The person in the kayak is the direction. The kayaker has to be focused. Okay, you think, oh, it's the swimmer that's the most important. It's not. Your kayaker is the person that's going to keep you in a straight line heading right for the lighthouse on the way out, and in a straight line headed back towards the hotel. The buoys are there, but it's kind of, like a little bit deceiving because you don't want to go buoy to buoy to buoy. You actually just want to find the shortest trajectory from the lighthouse back to the very last buoy, which you can't even see when you're out there. So yes, the buoys are there to guide you, but you're not tugging and touching every single buoy like in a triathlon because it's 8 miles, right? And they've gotten much, much better at anchoring the buoys. There's a lot more buoys. So it's definitely a lot safer than it has been in the past. I mean, they've never had a pre-race clinic with the rules before, meaning the Zoom call they had a few weeks ago, which you can watch the recording of, and I highly recommend it. They've always had the pre-race day before briefing. Always. They always have that, and you gotta hit it. I would recommend getting down there as early as possible, just so you can relax and breathe, and you see the lighthouse and you see how beautiful it is. And it's typically very calm close to the hotel. And then as you go out to sea, it's going to be, 1 to 2 foot seas. I mean, it's just a fact. And so, just regular open water swim skills are required. But the kayaker, as I mentioned, is the person that has to stay on task. And you're switching. It's not like Christine is the only one swimming, right? So her kayaker is head on the whole time, focused, getting her food, all that kind of stuff. For everybody else, we're responsible for our own food, our own water, everything like that, so that we can fuel ourselves. We know what works best for us. We've trained it, and I'm happy to go through what I like to do and what I recommend. But as far as making the effort be as simple and clean as possible, you've got to aim for the lighthouse and then aim back to shore and not let the wind and the current. You have to constantly course correct. If you guys are familiar with boats at all, you don't just point the boat in the direction you want to go and hope it gets there, even with the engine going, because the current will actually push you off course. You have to course correct. And that's what the kayaker has to do. And you're going to be taking turns as the kayaker while you're eating, while you're drinking. So it's lots of multitasking. And they say in the video, it's not a race. It's not a race, right? It's an event. But if, like you said, if I just mentioned, if you dilly-dally too much, you will be out there a lot longer than you should be, just because the elements get worse as the day goes on. Wind picks up, waves pick up, more likely things to happen. You run out of water, you run out of energy, right? And nutrition. Just get the job done, get back to shore, and imagine sitting in the nice cool pool with your pina colada, celebrating that you just did it, right? And that's basically the funnest part of the race, right? Okay, so let's just start with getting down there. Definitely recommend you guys get down there as early as possible on Friday. I'm planning on attending the 1 p.m. briefing and making sure, you know, there's nothing I need. I'm borrowing a kayak that I've never actually transported before. So there's some logistics. I need to figure out how I'm going to secure my cooler and my nutrition and make sure everything is tied to the kayak so that if we do flip, no big deal, right? So that's also you guys' responsibility to be as compact as possible with your equipment. Now, there is a new rule this year that every single kayak has to have a phone. Okay. And in the past, I sometimes didn't bring a phone because I was like, well, what if I flip over? What if it gets wet? So last year, I actually got one of those dry bags and I brought my phone, and I'll share some of my videos. I'm out there kayaking with my feet, and I'm making an Instagram post. I was really on it last year while my partner Kevin was swimming around the lighthouse. And I'll share that, but got to have a phone, and they give you at the clinic or at the session at whatever time you go, the head guy's emergency phone number. So if anything does happen, you call them directly. And there's actually there's a big boat at the turnaround, but there's also like a barge for emergencies. If you have too many jellyfish stings, if your paddle broke, if you ran out of water, whatever the case is, there is a location out there that they can help you. And then there's also going to be jet skis, going around constantly the whole time. So going to the clinic is super duper important. And then making sure that your kayak is good to go early as possible on Friday, not 7 or 8 p.m. on Friday night. Erin, I don't know what to do. Blah, 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 blah. Right? I don't want to get that call. I'll be happy to help. But 8 p.m., I will have just finished eating and basically getting ready to go to bed, right? So don't leave it to the last minute. All the stuff that you need to do this week: sunscreen, nutrition. How much nutrition do you need? Okay, have you guys practiced? My recommendation is typically 100 calories every half hour, but that might be a little bit too much, or it might be a little too little. It just depends on you. And also what you're going to have in a water bottle. You're going to have a Targo and electrolytes in the water bottle, which is some calories. So what I do is I do have fresh water bottles, and then I have calorie water bottles, and then I have the plan to have 100 calories about every 30 minutes. And I was doing that pretty consistently, not last year, the 2 years before. And I realized when I ran the lighthouse, like, I'm kind of full. Like, it was a little bit too much, right? So I kind of backed off, and then I added my caffeinated gels. Okay. And so the back half of the 4 miles is when I added some caffeine just to stay focused. The fatigue is happening. The arms and shoulders are working. You got to lift your body out of the water into the kayak. Your triceps are hurting. You might cramp a little bit, right? So those things are starting to happen, and the caffeine can kind of help you dial in and get focused. I'm planning on bringing some aminos as well. And I'm actually going to bring some pickle juice, because I have had a situation where I pulled myself up out of the kayak, and just the extra added effort made me cramp, right? And I couldn't uncramp my leg to get myself kicking, and I needed that extra salt, right? So any little thing that you can think of for nutrition, I would bring extra, but just don't bring the giant gallons of water. That's a mistake. If you do flip, those are at the bottom of the ocean. Hi. Yeah, so think about water bottles, freeze the water bottles. I know Christine freezes them the night before, but I don't know how she gets them to stay cold, because the hotel does not have a freezer in your hotel room. She brings a cooler. Okay, so that's something to think about. But having a cooler, like we had a Yeti, which was great, and all the water bottles just fit right in. and then you're pedaling, you're here, you got your water bottle between your legs, and you're drinking and then eating, and then you're switching. So the first swimmer went, okay, so that's the day before. So any questions on the getting there the day before and getting to the talks or any logistics like that, what you're going to eat? Let's go over nutrition now, and we'll talk about actually the day of and like step by step by step. Any questions? No. So you guys are going to be good to go. What time is everybody going to get there? Don't be shy.
I'm not working on Friday, so I was going to leave fairly early in the morning, so I'll join you for the 1 p.m.
Perfect.
I think I think, is that the first one, or is there one before that?
No, I think that's the first one. I think it's 1, 3, and 6.
Okay, I'll be there with you.
Awesome.
For
Okay,
sure.
Mark is going to be there. Mark is going to be there at that first one.
I would like to emphasize something that you said that I think is really important, especially for newbies. You definitely want to secure all the stuff in the kayak, because you can tell yourself it's not going to flip, but it may flip. That happened to me the first year, not just once, several times the kayak was flipped.
Yeah.
And it's not cute.
No, it's not fun. And we don't want to litter and leave all of that plastic in the bottom of the ocean. And so, yeah, having little bungee cords, having little things to tie into your boat, even extra sunglasses. We're going to talk about equipment. Definitely every single person here needs two goggles. Mandatory. You have your goggles you're wearing, and then you have an extra pair. I've had goggles break pretty much twice out of the 8 years that I've done it, right? So extra goggles. It's going to be sunny, so plan on the tinted ones. You don't need the clear ones. And have 2 pairs. Extra spit, either your own or the spray spit is a good idea in case you are fogging up. But you are going to be switching, pretty frequently, but you just don't want to not have goggles, clear goggles to be able to see with. Good call, Laura. Okay.
So this thing will not work.
What's going to be in there?
Water, or the one with Targo. I was planning on getting this too, to not get like plastic on it, and wrap it with one of the like the cords.
It's kind of heavy. Like, I have just my full circle water bottles. I have usually 4 of those, and that's kind of what I've been using. It's up to you. You can test it out. I would definitely bring some plastic water bottles just in case. But yeah, I mean, if you feel like you can secure them very well, and they're not going to be too heavy on the boat, on the kayak, you gotta think, where are you going to sit? Where is all that going to sit? Where's your food going to be? And don't have extra. Like, I know some people in the past have used like fruit and blah, blah. It's just too messy with all that stuff. Keep it simple. This is one race that, I'm not a big fan of sports nutrition, but it's just ease of getting it in your mouth so that and not throwing away the litter, obviously, in the ocean, but try not to have excess stuff. You only have so much space on your kayak, and you're going to be switching in and out of it. So there is that potential to tip it. And if there's any mesh on the inside where you can tuck things in, make sure things are tucked in. Like every single time my face always gets sunburned. So I reapply sunscreen and put zinc on my lips, and I have it right there in my seat. So that every time I get out of the water, that happens, right? Because I do not want to become a French fry. Okay, so let's talk about what you're gonna wear. So
wait, one question, Erin. Yeah. Logistical for Friday. Yeah. How is I'm staying at the La Siesta. Is it walkable between the 2 hotels?
Yes, it's very walkable, and they have little trolley, like a little, like it's basically Perfect. A golf cart. Yeah, like a golf cart that seats like 20 people. So you can Perfect. Jump in, and they play good
Great.
music.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so you can it's not far. Okay, let's talk about what you're going to wear. So obviously everybody's going to be wearing reef safe sunscreen. If you aren't putting on reef safe sunscreen, no one is putting it on, right? You have to be the change. We need to save our oceans. You will see that the reefs are dead in the Keys. Why? Because we are destroying them with our toxins. So please make a decision to not, I don't want to be seeing anybody spraying Hawaiian tropic on their body, right? Let's just make a choice to use reef safe sunscreen, please. Okay, so what is reef safe? That means it's a physical block, not a chemical block. So zinc oxide based sunscreen works like a charm, and definitely want to bring it with you to reapply. As far as what you're going to wear underneath your sunscreen, I recommend waking up first thing in the morning and putting your sunscreen on your entire body, and then you will reapply after you put your bathing suit on before you get in your kayak. That is a surefire way to not have get completely fried. Putting it on just the one time right before you get in the ocean, not a good idea, because it's going to wash right off. So actually putting on a few hours, it absorbs into the skin, and zinc oxide is not toxic and will create a layer on your skin, and then you reapply and you're much less likely to get sunburn. It's not fun to be totally fried, okay? So bathing suits, are you going to wear one piece, a two piece? Now, none of the men can have jammers longer than their knees, or you will be put into a different category, okay? So all of us are just racing in the open category based on our age groups, or two-person team. So two-person men, two-person women, mixed, co-ed, three-person, or whatever. So everybody should there's no equipment. Now, if you choose to wear fins, you totally can, but you will not be competing in the open category, and you will be moved to a different category. And if they see you with, a skin suit below your knees, again, another category. So it's up to you guys what you want to wear. I'm planning on wearing my bathing suit and then my skin suit over the top. And if it gets too hot, as the temperature forecast seems to be, I might opt to take off the skin suit. But the skin suit makes you faster, right? So if you want to cut through the water, I love my skin suit. It's tight, it's fitted, it's great. It's easy to keep on the whole time, unless, of course, we're burning up. I don't know what the temperature is going to be out there. So any questions about what to wear? No, you're good.
I was planning on getting like an under, like a golf thing to have long sleeves, but I don't know. I think that will be a little bit too much, even though it's white.
Yeah, if you swim with that, it's a lot of drag. Are you talking about swimming with it?
Yeah.
I don't recommend it unless you have like a completely fitted one that you're not going to take off at all. But it's just really a lot of drag every time you lift your arm, and all that material is dripping down, and it's just drag. You like I said, if it's super duper fitted and really tight and you're going to wear it the whole time and you're never going to take it off, then that's fine. But nothing that has any gaps or like hanging material, I don't think it's a good idea. And then I definitely recommend like a thin towel to put over your thighs and your shins when you are kayaking, because you are like a giant French fry roasting in the sun. I have my big hat, Ollie, if you want to grab it around the corner. So I have my big hat and I tie it to the chair of the kayak. And so I jump out of the water and I literally put my goggles down, put my hat over. If my head is hurting from my swim cap, just from having it on too much, I will take a break from the swim cap and then be ready to put it back on. And we're going to talk about the timing of things in a minute. But the more I'm in the shade, the better. I don't want to be roasting out there as much as possible. Okay.
One more question about clothes. How about a big like shirt to throw on in between kayaking? Because there's 3 of us. Do I have enough time? Is it a hassle?
No, it's worth it. Like one of those big fishing shirts. Yes. Yeah, because those are easy to get on and off. They're loose and they protect you. Sometimes I'll just have 2 towels. So I'll have one for my thin towels, not these big giant towels. We're talking little thin towels, like the ones that they use for the pool, just to cover the shoulders and cover the thighs and the shins. Julie, I hope that answers your question about protecting your sun protection while you're out kayaking.
Yeah, and I think the other question I had, so I have like a bathing suit that has legs, so I was gonna wear that, and then Monica and Mary Liz and I have like a long sleeve bathing suit. I've been wearing that one over it.
Okay. You probably will be put into a different category because your shins are covered by your leggings though, just to let you know.
No, the shins are not. No, it's above
Oh,
the
okay,
knee.
cool. Just up to your knees. Okay, perfect. That's great. Awesome.
That's fine, right?
Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah. Okay, so what to wear? Okay, so sunscreening it up, just making sure you have sun protection. And then nutrition, just making sure, thinking about timeline, 4 bottles and then maybe 1 extra one is, well, it depends on how long you're, how fast you swim. That's just for me. So I'm planning on being out there with Cindy about 5 hours. That's our goal. So I know that 4 bottles, maybe 1 extra bottle for some extra water or nutrition is going to be pretty much right where I need to be. But you guys have to assess based on your swimming paces, you know, how many water bottles you need and the nutrition that's going to be in the water bottle. I do definitely recommend, if you guys have done any of the long swims, you know how that salty taste that gets in your mouth and up your nose, having a little bit of a fresh water rinse, you know, can make the biggest difference to just reset your, you know, mucous membranes from not having so much salt. And the good news is the jellyfish seem to have disappeared. So we are really crossing our fingers that they have been sucked away and they're not coming back. And if, just in case though, a squirt bottle or the stinging patches that I posted, I'm going to have those for sure on our kayak, of, you know, a spray bottle of vinegar, just in case, right? If you are burning, now know that if you do get stung by a jellyfish, if anyone is allergic, we need to reconsider the race, because if you are going to go into an anaphylactic shock, you might not be willing to sacrifice that in the middle of the ocean, because your life is at stake. Now, everybody else, if you're not allergic to bees, you're typically okay. If you get stung, you will not die. You might feel like you will die for a few minutes, but I promise you, it's not going to kill you. You might get a little burn on your arm or your face or whatever the case is. You're trying to avoid them as much as possible. If they're there, and we're trying to avoid them, but honestly, it's really hard to, and we're just trying to not go into them head on, like face plant into one, you know? But I'm pretty confident that we're going to have no jellyfish. Okay, any questions about what to wear? Sunscreen, jellyfish, good? All right, nutrition, we're good. And like I said, extra caffeine are on the way back.
I do have a question about, you said you use zinc for your lips. Do you mind sharing which one that is?
Yeah, so I just have like zinc oxide, like just the white stuff. I actually I got one from the surf shop. You can get it on Amazon, but you can get clear zinc oxide, you know, just like a chapstick, but it's just clear zinc oxide. It works great. You can get the white one if you want. It looks funny. They have blue, they have pink, but yeah, I can find the link on Amazon and I'll share it with you guys. And you guys know I love my Shell sunscreen, but there are plenty of, like, I know Christine uses Blue Lizard. It has some chemicals in it, so for me it's not the best, but it is going to help you not get sunburned. Okay. Oh yeah, the Sea Safe. The Sea Safe is worth it, especially if there's going to be jellyfish, because it will literally, you'll put it, if you put it on your skin right now, it's greasy almost. And when the stinger hits your skin, it literally slides off. So you do definitely prevent yourself from getting stung by using the Sea Safe. So if you are concerned with that, I would definitely use a layer of that for sure.
Have people tried how good the Sea Safe is also for sun protection, or not so good?
It's good. I mean, it's good. Yeah, the 50 plus, exactly. But again, I would be reapplying, always reapplying. What?
SPF 50, and it has it's supposed to be water resistant for 80 minutes.
Yeah, so you want to reapply. Yeah, cool, reapply. Okay, so let's talk about,
one question, sorry if you're moving on from nutrition, do you mind sharing what you put in your bottles specifically?
Yes, I put a scoop of Vitargo and a scoop of watermelon electrolytes because it has amino acids already in it. The body health one, and I just shake that up, and then we'll keep it as cold as possible pre-event, and then put it in the Yeti cooler with some ice. in the back of the chair of the kayak so that it's easy to reach into and grab out. The cooler your drink is, the better, just because the water is going to be hot. You're going to be hot, and pre-cooling can definitely help you stave off from just getting so hot out there. Obviously, water helps, right? Splashing yourself with water and stuff, but I'll have that. And then I'm planning on doing my Muir gels, MUIR, the strawberry or the raspberry or the blueberry gels every 30 minutes or so. And then I'm going to have some caffeinated Cliff Blocks on the way back in. So black cherry is my favorite. It has caffeine in it. Now, 3 Cliff Blocks is about 100 calories. That's my plan.
What do you do for trash bag for all these gel? Right, just throw it in your
Right back in
bag.
the cooler. Yeah, right back in the cooler.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, cool. So and then a couple of just plain water as well. Plain water bottles. Okay, so it's race morning. We're gonna be on the beach, and there's literally 300 kayaks on the beach. Okay. So you know from the night before what your race number is and where your kayak is, and you can actually load up everything except for the actual, water bottles themselves the night before, which I highly recommend you do as much as you can the night before. And then you're gonna, as each group is allowed to go in. So the solo swimmers are first, and that's actually the biggest group. So the kayakers for the solo swimmers go in the water first, and the solo swimmers go first, and every one of them has to go underneath this arch, the timing arch. Everybody has a timing chip on their ankle, and it's very lightweight. It's not going to be affecting you in any way. So then they send off swimmers 10 at a time, and Christine's not on the call, but she's done this a couple of times, so she knows exactly what to do to rendezvous with her kayaker after the first buoy. Every swimmer has to swim to the first buoy before any exchanges happen. So then the second group is 2-person swimmers, the third group is 3-person, and then the fourth group is 4-person swimmers, teams. So how do we find each other? We need a plan. And the swimmer has to go underneath that timing arch, right? So the idea is to have something identifiable on your kayak, if you can, even a balloon, right? Don't let the balloon go, okay? Balloons are not good to get lost in the ocean. So tie it on good if you're going to use a balloon, or maybe you have a funny hat, or you have something on your hat while you're kayaking to meet your swimmer, and you're looking for your swimmer, right? And your swimmer is looking for you at the same time they're going to the first buoy. Now, if you are at the first buoy and you're waiting for your swimmer and you miss each other, the swimmer keeps going, they will be picked up and not allowed to continue until they pair up with you. So it sounds crazy, but I can tell you magically, everybody tends to find their kayaker and their swimmer, and it's only the people that are completely blatantly just not looking that they don't find each other. Okay, so it is important to have a plan. Okay, I'm going to start on the right hand side, and I'm going to swim more to the right, so you guys, and I'll be looking for your funny hat with the pink whatever on it. Okay, so try to have a plan with each other on how to regroup. And then after that, it's up to you how often you want to switch. And like I said, I recommend, go ahead.
One thing, sorry, I have a question. When you're starting, everybody starts at the same time. So which one of the team you recommend? Is it because there's a faster swimmer and there's there's 2 different or 3 different types of swimmers. So
Right.
Who do you recommend to go first during
Up
the
to
first?
you. You guys can
but-
decide on your team. Yeah. So you could go first, and then David could find you, and then you switch, right? And I recommend, no longer than 20 minutes. You don't want to swim after the first buoy. I don't know how long the first buoy will take you, but after that, 20 minutes. And you can disagree with me 100%, do your own thing. You can swim 2 miles straight if you want. I could care less. I'll just tell you from my experience, we did the first year I did this, we did 2 miles each, and we came in like 6.5 hours. We did every 15 minutes, and I'm right at 5 hours pretty much every time.
Yeah, so 15 minutes it's about right, correct?
15 is perfect. And why is that? You're able to keep your technique keep some intensity. You're not going, it's all form based, right? It's 8 miles, guys. You're not, doing Tarzan and VO2 max intervals out there. It's all technique, long and strong. Okay, so let's talk about conditions.
I'm sorry, one more question. The
Sure.
first buoy, how far is it from the starting point?
I'd say it's like 200 yards or maybe 300.
Okay,
Not far. Yeah, not far. But they do want you to get out, right? So they might make it 300 or 400. I could be off. a
okay,
little.
no, that's no
Yeah,
problem.
but it's
Okay.
not like a mile, right? It's
Okay.
close. You can
Got
definitely see it. But they just want you to get out there so that everybody can kind of spread apart, kind of thing.
Got it.
What was I gonna say about I don't remember. Anybody remember what I was talking about? Oh,
They were talking about the timing.
yeah, the waves. Okay, so I will tell you, the person swimming really should not be sighting except for that first buoy, right? And you're keeping the buoys on your left the whole time. Because sometimes there's swells, right? So you go to sight and you're in the trough. Okay. You go to the site and all you see is water. And you're like, ooh, I hope I'm going in the right direction. And then you keep swimming and then you look again and you're at the crest. Oh, okay, there's the lighthouse. I'm headed in the right direction. But ideally, you're just breathing to the right and or breathing to the left, alternating when you can. And your kayaker is there. And they, as I mentioned before, are the nose of their kayak is pointed directly towards the lighthouse, and you are just breathing to them, staying within 5 feet of them. You do not want to be 25 feet from your kayaker. Okay. Other kayakers and swimmers will go between you. You will lose sight of each other. The idea is to stay close to each other. Please do not hit your swimmer with your paddle. It gets close sometimes. So pay attention if you're paddling with your paddle that you're not hitting your swimmer. Don't run over your swimmer, right, Ollie? Don't run over your swimmer.
Oh my God, I did that to Laura yesterday. When was it? Sunday too. Sorry.
Don't run over your swimmer. Please don't do that. So right next to them, and you're counting down the time. So let's just agree right now, it's a count down. Okay. So you switch and you hit lap. So I use my Garmin the whole time. Make sure it's fully charged. So the swimmer goes off. I'm not swimming. My swimmer is swimming, let's just say. And I'm pushing start. So we meet up at the first buoy. My turn to swim. Between me waiting for them and they're coming, I got my goggles on. I got my swim cap on. I am ready to go. And we meet up. I say, oh, it's been 15 minutes. We're going to say 5 more minutes. Okay. So it's a countdown. Okay. So they're swimming. They're looking to me to breathe. I say 5. Right. And then I say 3. And you're holding your hand up for at least 3 breath cycles. It's not this. They will not know what you're talking about, and they will never have seen your hand. You can also smile. The swimmer can smile to acknowledge, got it, or do a thumbs up during the recovery. Acknowledge each other. This is how you're communicating, sign language, okay? So 2 minutes, and when we do the 1 minute, I'm paddling ahead 100 yards. They're now going to sight on me 100 yards ahead, but I'm getting out in the water, goggles on, ready to go. If they need assistance, if Cindy needs assistance getting in, I will lay across the bow or the stern of my kayak, make sure she's in, hit lap, I'm gone, right? I'm not looking at my watch. Cindy's going to tell me when I switch, right? I'm going to start swimming as much as I can. I am sighting a little bit until she catches up to me. And then I'm going to breathe to her and not worry about sighting anymore. Okay. She's going to tell me 10 minutes if she chooses to, 5 minutes, right? 2, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. Same thing. Go ahead. She's going to jump out. I'm good to go. I don't need her help. Go swim. I'm going to get in the kayak and I'm going to catch up to her, right? Highly recommend that routine because it's kind of foolproof. If you need to wait for each other to get in the kayak, no problem. Make sure The whole idea is don't flip the kayak and make sure someone's in the kayak unless you know 100%. Like I am 100% certain I can get in my kayak and I don't need Cindy's help. Maybe I'm wrong. I've never used Mark's kayak. I'll find out, right? But so just communicate and just be efficient. It's not, like they said, a race, but it is an event that you don't want to be out there for 8 hours. All right. So you are headed for the lighthouse. You're going to pass people. People are going to pass you. Everybody's out there to have fun. There are motorboats on the exterior. You're staying on the interior. We used to do this race with boats, right? We had no kayaks. It was actually really fun because everybody would be on the boat. We did a 4-person team. You're eating, you're drinking, you're listening to good music, and there's your swimmer. And your swimmer's going, man, they look like they're having so much fun. And then guess what? It's your turn. But it got too dangerous with all the boats, you know, running over swimmers and stuff like that. So they excluded all boats, and now it's only kayaks, and the boats are on the outside. Any questions? Anything I have not covered? What if you get seasick? Laura knows the answer to this question.
I mean, I actually normally never get seasick. I won't go over why it is that I ended up seasick that year, but
yeah,
I
100%.
No,
She
it's
took
okay.
Vitargo and never tried it before, and it made her sick. Do
Nope.
not take Vitargo
nope.
for the first time.
I was also not warned that I shouldn't do that, so it was a double whammy. But anyways, that's what happened. I mean, I've grown up on the water on boats. I never get seasick. I wish I had just vomited, to be honest with you, but I didn't, and that was probably my biggest mistake, was not just letting it out.
Yeah.
But I highly recommend, if there's an inkling in your mind, I would go ahead and get the sea bands that you can wear on your wrists.
Mhm.
I know my partner last year took what is it called? The stuff that you take so you don't get seasick, the preventative pill. I didn't take that because, yeah, exactly. Dramamine. Thank you. And I don't suggest that you do it now unless you've trained that way. But the little wristbands that you wear, I wore those last year and I'm going to wear them again this year. But yeah. And the only other thing that I would add is I would guesstimate how long you think you're going to be on the water. And if you think you're going to be on the water for 6 hours, I would bring at least 1 bottle of water for every hour. And that's based on my experience at the race and training that I've done, you know, recently.
For sure.
Better to have more fluid than not enough, for sure.
Definitely.
But yeah, the seasick there were a lot of people that got seasick last year too. And you know, of course, everyone's different. You may think you'd never get seasick. Like I thought that would never happen to me, and it did.
Yeah.
So
And I know Mary Liz has issues with seasick too. There is like a homeopathic, like under the tongue thing that you can try too. I'll have to ask her what she tried last year, but she still does it. She comes every year to do it. So she's been able to manage her seasickness, even though it's been an issue for her in the past. All right. Any other questions? What if it rains? There's no rain in the forecast. It says 10 to 20%, which is like every single day in the Keys. But I will tell you, they did shorten the race. The first time I did it as a 2-person team, I was ready to go, and I didn't get the memo that they shortened the race. So I'm swimming towards the lighthouse with my partner, and we're taking turns and we see everybody starting to take a left-hand turn. And I'm like, where's everyone going? The lighthouse is over there. Like, I was so confused. And then I see an archway and they're like, they shortened the race. And I'm like, what? When did this happen? Like, I had no idea. And basically what happened was at 6 a.m., there was a storm advisory offshore, but by the time we were swimming, it was completely gone, but they had already made the decision to shorten the race. So it was only a 4-mile race. So things can change like that. They can change the course based on safety and whatever's happening. And also let's talk about sharks, right? So are you afraid you're going to see a shark? You're not going to see a shark And if you do, they're hightailing it as far away from us as possible. There's going to be like 800 swimmers out there, and they want nothing to do with us. Will you see a sea turtle? I hope so. Will you see jellyfish? I hope not. Will you see some tarpon or a what's that one that everybody's afraid of that has it looks silvery and it has jagged teeth? Drawing a blank right now, but they don't want anything to do with you. There's so many beautiful fish underneath the lighthouse. You can get distracted. I mean, talking thousands of really pretty reef fish underneath the lighthouse. And so whoever gets to make the turn around the lighthouse is kind of lucky, in my opinion. So if you can time it right, for you to be the one that goes around the lighthouse, there is usually an arch out there, and there is a scorekeeper. So they're looking for your boat number to make sure you actually go all the way to the lighthouse and you're not cheating and turning around early.
So the kayak also goes around or no?
Yes, the kayak goes around the lighthouse.
Oh,
100
okay.
Yep. The kayaker doesn't have to go,
Barracuda is what we're looking for.
yeah, the kayaker doesn't go through the arch, but the swimmer has to go through the arch. But
Oh, okay.
typically very close to each other. Yeah. Okay.
Barracuda is the word you were looking for.
Barracuda, thank you. Yes, barracudas are often scary looking, but most of the time don't want anything to do with you. But there are some.
I
usually-
heard not to wear anything shiny, no jewelry,
Yes,
because they go for that.
Yeah, so if they see a flash and they think it's a fish, and they might go for it. But honestly, there's going to be so many of us, I don't think it's going to be an issue. Thank you, thank you. All right, any other questions? So what's your mantra? What's going to keep your mind focused while you're out there swimming? I know Ollie and Laura are going to be like, beat Aaron and Cindy, beat Aaron and Cindy. I'm just kidding.
Can't promise anything.
No, we'll see. We'll see. Come on, you guys. Have fun, right? This is going to be an awesome event. I stay in the beginning, like, take it seriously, because, you know, we don't want you guys to be out there forever. We don't want you to be throwing up. We don't want you to have any issues. And if you just stay focused and on purpose, you're going to have an amazing day and just enjoy it. So I always talk to Christine before she does her 28-mile swims. And I talk about the beautiful thing about swimming that's different from biking and running. And that is, you are being supported 100% of your body weight, supported by the ocean. It makes everything so much easier, right? And if you are fighting your way through, you are going to be exhausted. And the goal is to glide through, right? Think about every single hand entry, every single reach, every single position on your side, every single short, tight kick, not a big one, right? And you will glide through the water with every single stroke, head down, down, down. The bigger the waves, the lower your head is in the water. Please do not get caught up in head up, head up, head up. You will be struggling the entire time, okay? So the other thing is like breathing. Lots of breathing, right? Every right or every left, based on, I like to switch every buoy or every time I'm in the water. And it makes your kayaker be able to stay on the same side. So I'll spend 15 minutes breathing only to the right? I'll try to. And then my next round, I'll go only to the left, right? Because I definitely don't want to be stuck on just one side. Now, if you can't only breathe on one side, you got to tell your kayaker where to be on that particular side. But obviously, you know, you might get tired. Notice if you're dropping your arm. Okay, so as you breathe and there's waves, the tendency is to use your arm or your hand to balance. Big mistake. That's all drag, and you've ruined your streamline, right? So side kick position, breathe, stay here longer. Catch an even bigger breath, right? And then get your head back, down, 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 and get on your side to breathe. Really, really focus on relaxing, breathing out of your nose, inhaling through your mouth. Now, there are situations, usually the waves are coming at a diagonal. You're headed out to the lighthouse, and there's a diagonal of current and chop and waves. And interestingly enough, the waves are coming at you from the left, and you think, oh, perfect, I breathe right. But there is a situation that can happen when you go to breathe right and the wave goes over your head and right into your mouth. And it's happened to me quite a few times on this particular event. And actually, when I breathe left towards the wave, I can time it so it happens in the trough. So I'm breathing when there's a trough, and then I put my head down, the wave goes over me, and I take a breath to the left, got my pocket of air, put my head down, blow my bubbles, the wave goes right over me. So, having the ability to breathe on both sides is important. Some of you guys don't have that yet, but this is a perfect example of why it's important, okay? Breaststroke, can always breaststroke to change things up. Backstroke, you need a little break to open up, open those shoulders up, right? And don't be afraid. The kayaker, just to let you know, like, you don't have to be kayak. You can go like this, and then you're coasting. So you have time to eat. You have time to do a quick stretch, right? And you can still stay right along your swimmer. Rarely are you kayaking to catch up maybe to your swimmer who got ahead of you. But typically it's way easy to get your kayak up to speed and even past your swimmer. So you have time to eat, you have time to drink, you have time to stretch if you need to. All right.
But you need to be like most of the time watching the swimmer, right? Because if something happens, like you said, that's just thing that you said that, swallowing some water or something.
Yeah,
If it gets you,
on
yeah, you don't like just gonna leave him like right there for 15 minutes and then go pick him up, but you have to be on top of him all the time. Because if something happens, he will just
apart. Yeah, I recommend 5 feet apart, right? To the right or to the left, depending on the side that they like to breathe on, right? You want to stay, you're a unit. You stay together, okay? I think we covered everything except your mantras. Mine is long and strong, right? Long and strong, always. And kick. No, kick. Keep the engine going the whole time. Are your ankles breaking the surface? If they're not, you are dragging yourself along. Okay, little things that keep in mind. Every stroke counts. Perfect high elbow catch. Perfect reach. Perfect finish. All right? All right, you guys.
I have this thing made for all of us. The team.
Oh, that's right. Daniel made t-shirts.
It's here and it has
Oh
all
my
his
God.
names and everything in the back. So
Awesome.
I don't know where to give them to all of you.
Let's bring them Friday.
Okay, so that's what I think that's what I'm gonna do, because I'm gonna go there on Thursday, because they said on the Instagram thing that there were rooms available. So I called and I actually got in a room in the America. And well, I'm bringing my girlfriend with me to the thing, so now we're gonna stay there. And well, one thing that I was missing is the dinner at Saturday. If someone can send me the link or how to get the ticket for her that day.
You have to go in the app. You have to go in the app and do it yourself through your app, because then it has all your information.
What's the app thing?
Well, it's where you signed up for the race. Whoever signed up, you guys, then they can do it.
Did David or you sign up?
I'm not sure, but I'll find it. If someone, what's the name of the thing?
It's worth it to do the dinner. It's like fresh fish and vegetables, and we're all together and we celebrate the swim. So if you can make is there anyone who's not coming to dinner? It would be a shame. No one's coming. Everyone's going.
Yeah, I think everyone's going.
Hey, come join us. It's great. They have music. They have live music. There's the awards. You're right there on the beach, all together, sitting together as a team, saying yay when you get your award. Don't bail out. Come and join us. Please. I already see Carmen and Jose are doing their own thing.
No, we signed up already. We were one of the first ones that bought the tickets.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
I was gonna ask, I saw that it's very casual, so maybe we could wear those t-shirts that night or no?
Yeah, for sure.
That would be nice, I think.
Yeah, that would be cool if we all wore our t-shirts. That'd be fun.
Cool. Perfect.
Ollie's gonna wear a sweatshirt. She's already decided.
I wore my shirt.
Right.
95 degrees, perfect for
Hey, that's-
sweatshirts.
that's crap.
Richie's like, I don't know. Okay. All right, guys, I'm super excited. We're gonna have so much fun. Oops.
Well, all right. Well,
right, well,
thanks. I'm gonna leave because I'm actually David and I are gonna go practice now.
Okay, don't overswim. You don't need to swim more than 15
No, we're gonna practice the kayak thing.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, getting in and out and switching and not hitting him on the head, right? Not
Exactly.
over.
Well, thank you. See
You're
you.
welcome. All right, you guys, we'll see you Friday. Super excited, if not before then. All right, bye.
Bye.